To the tune of OPP, minority by nature. No time for idle chitter chat and petty iteration. Teaming to me exponentially like I'm Barack's inauguration. Already.
Well, that didn't go well, did it? I did a shorty from last week. I played the wrong one. I was in the wrong channel. on the screen. Oh, look at that! Terrible. What an amateur.
Well, you've had a bit of a dramatic day. We won't go into what's happened, but you have had a slightly stressful, dramatic 24 hours, mate. So all is forgiven. So I take it we're live then. This moment in
time.
We
are now live. Let's go.
Right, cool. Right, well, welcome everybody to the British Bears. We came here a little bit quicker and sharper than usual, but we're here. And this is a show from Britain. So me and Jason are British. It's giving the Bears coverage a bit of a British accent. And we like to come on every week and discuss the Bears. And also the idea of the show is that we'd love to get anybody from Britain or anybody outside America, really. We'd love to have you on as a guest when the season starts. Just tell us how you got on, how you became a Bears fan. And obviously we can discuss the game and whatever. But yeah, let's rock and roll, man. So last week they had a bit of a tasty joint training session with the Miami Dolphins. Apparently the Bears defense were absolutely all over the Dolphins offense, to the point where Dolphins players were actually fighting between themselves. Yep. So that's how much the Bears were pressurizing that team. So it sounds like, it sounded like Madeira were absolutely flying. I did see some sort of comments from some of the Miami reporters, and they were saying like the Bears defense were being quite dirty and doing some sort of, cheap shots and taking it a little bit too far. What's your thoughts been on the last sort of week of training camp?
I think I said last week, didn't I? I thought dropped my phone. The joint training, the practice session will be more important than the game, because that's going to be first team against first team, isn't it? And I was loving it. I caught up with Swifties. He does a little daily reports, doesn't he, from training camp? And I was loving the sound of it getting chippy, and the Bears they took it to him, didn't they? And I think that's possibly why the Dolphins were, gave away quite a few penalties and some sort of cheap ones as well, as in sort of cheap shot, kind of like, the in defense's player, wasn't it? The tight end caught one and got rattled, mm-hmm. And that was definitely a 15-yarder, the sort of roughing the passer stuff. So I think they were probably a little bit pissed off that we gave it to him on the joint practice, to be honest. But I think those are more valuable. And they did over 70 reps, didn't they, with Caleb and the warm-up?
That's right, yes.
So I know that there was a load of shit. I mean, we were messaging, weren't we, before the game, and the coverage was just appalling, wasn't it? Just laying into the Bears. And then the next thing I see on ESPN, flipping Rage Bait Central, was about how you shouldn't, should you rest your quarterbacks? And the thing is, you put them in, they get injured, and they'll be going, should you play your quarterbacks in preseason? You just can't win. So I take all that kind of stuff with a huge pinch of salt from the media. I was really glad, pleased with what I heard from training camp. And then the game, I just enjoyed football, man. I just enjoyed. We knew it wasn't going to be the first team. But we'll talk about it in a minute, won't we? Sorry, I'm getting my words out. Like I said, I've had a rough 24 hours. I didn't sleep much. I'm quite tired, so I'll try and do my best, everyone, just to let you know. So
this is going to be a great show, because I've had the flu for the last 4 days, so my brain's like mush. And then you've had a stressful 24 hours, man. God, oh, my people are going to go, look at these two old giffers.
These are rubbish, yeah, exactly. So I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. There's a few in. Just want to say hello. So Armando Lara Jr. is in. Shorty's there, of course.
Cheers, mate.
Squeegee's there. Fine Smite. Carl with some roster moves. Jonathan Kim, the kicker's been waived. I guess they say they didn't need him when Cairo can boot a 57-yarder at halftime.
That's right.
Yeah. And then Major Burns was also waived, which is not a surprise. He didn't have a great game, did he? He missed
no, he didn't.
Some coverage. He was in my notes, actually. But him and Alex Cook had a couple of shockers, didn't they? Shorty's there still. Evie Bear down. Davis is there. Is the audio okay? I don't know. Is it? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound as good. You sound as usual. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad. Pretty good.
Booker, the legend that is King Booker World, is in the chat. Good to see you guys. Squeegee again. Amanda Lara. Evie Oh, hang on. With John Jackson as well. Yeah, because he had a howl, didn't he? He dropped.
He did.
Absolute sitter, didn't he, John Jackson? 2 of them, in fact, in a row. The second one maybe could have given him the benefit of the doubt, but one of them was in his hands and just dropped it. And to be fair, he is not going to get into the roster. He's not going to get into 53 the way our wide receiver room is stacked.
No, I mean, that is a statue there. Yeah, I mean, we'll move on to the game against the Dolphins. It was the Bears' first preseason game. And like you mentioned before the actual team came out, Coach Johnson had Caleb and the wide receivers running through 70 players, and it was something about what Johnson said in the presser after that. He'd love to have that time every day, but obviously, it's not possible. When you're in training camp. So that was good to see that. The starters still had some work to do. But I always like to start on the offensive side, man. They started off with Burgeon, who got 13 out of 19 for 103 yards. He had 1 touchdown and 1 interception. I mean, his touchdown pass was good. I really liked his touchdown pass. I thought his first sort of couple of throws were like a little bit off target, a little bit forced. They were sort of down the middle a lot. And I don't think Braxton Jones sort of helped him very much as well. And that starting series, he seemed to get a bit sort of easily beaten by people doing like the inside move and spin moves on him. So what were your sort of feelings about Burgeon's performance, Jason?
It was steady, I think, wasn't it? I think it was okay. It's like, I think it's just kind of like, you can tell that the talent level is down a notch from Caleb, isn't it? So he goes through his progressions, he makes his throws, he runs the offense. It's just, I mean, what you're going to get for a backup quarterback is not, and the only difference, the competition will be between him and Case, won't it? Case Keenum, so who I thought was pretty good second half. You can tell he's just an experienced vet, can't you, Keenum? He was doing really well, getting the ball out quick. But yeah, you've messed me up with this because I've had, like I say, a bit of a shit show for the last day. I haven't done my notes. I just did a lot of scrolling as they happen. I just make notes on my phone, and then I go through it and split it into that. So I'm just gonna have to run through it as in a bit of a random fashion. But Duvernay was involved, wasn't he? Monongai, I thought, was pretty good.
Yeah.
Bajan, the touchdown pass was good. He put it in a great place. It was a brilliant catch, wasn't it, by old Maurice Alexander? A really good catch, presence of mind to get his feet down. So that was decent. Happy with that. I think this is kind of what you're going to see, isn't it? And I can't think of more than that, though. I was watching the offensive line, I was desperately trying to see who. Hi, Patty Laura. Patty L's joined the chat. Welcome. It's just kind of what you want to see from. I was trying to see who was on the offensive line, and we messaged him, weren't we, to say who's in there.
That's right.
And they gave them all a go, didn't they? At some point. Sorry, it's just funny from Carl. He says the way I take notes is live on Twitter. Format is player number plus insane/reactionary take or a death threat. that's kind of how X works, isn't it?
It is.
I have my anger during Bears games, says Carl. I just loved having football back. But I was trying to get a gauge on the offensive line. Benedette played some reps at both right tackle and left tackle, didn't he? Bates was at centre. And he looked fairly solid, I thought. Not too bad at all. We're just going to see if he's, fully good to go with that arthritic shoulder that he's apparently struggling with.
I don't think he's actually missed any time through training, which is obviously a big positive.
Massive positive.
Especially, the amount of time he's had off. And also as well, due to that shoulder problem, which never really, never gets 100% right anyway. It'd be something where he's just going to have to sort of play with for the rest of his career. I thought, I can remember when we were sort of texting through the first quarter, and I know it was the first preseason game, and, excuse me, I know we're both, I won't able to say the word, but we're both not being well. We haven't caught anything from each other in a weird way. I'll just put that forward straight away.
Yeah, 200 miles apart, and usually stay that way.
But I can message you, and I was quite surprised with the sort of play calling by Johnson in the first couple of series, because there were a lot of passes, and I thought the sort of main ethos of that sort of offense is establishing a running game, which to me would have helped the QBs anyway. I mean, I was impressed by Monongai. I thought I can see what you were on about last week, Jason. He's got really good balance. He's really good after the contact. And he's built like a little brick shithouse, isn't he? He's solid. He's like a little like, little bowling ball. And I was absolutely impressed with him, man. I thought he were, I can see what they saw him in the draft and, what he possibly could be as well for the Bears in the future. The offensive line. I mean, I always find preseason games quite hard to sort of review because you got so many players interchanging all the time. So the levels up and down, like you were saying, you were really trying to concentrate on who were playing on the offensive line. And, when you got players coming in and out, it's really hard to do that. And that must be hard to get some sort of rhythm going for the offense.
Yeah,
sorry, mate. God, sorry, go on.
But yeah, just to add to that, to say, I feel like it kind of affects the flow of the game, doesn't it?
Yes.
And both teams are just swapping in and out the whole time. I think it does affect the flow, but that's all I was going to add to your. Just carry on, please.
But like, I think Chipolo played pretty well for the amount of snaps he had. He didn't look overall. I mean, he's a massive unit. I think once he gets his hands on somebody when they're on a pass rush, they'll get absolutely no chance of going anywhere. Not a fucking chance. And he's got a good technique. And even on the run blocking as well, it's like he's such a tall guy. He gets down there and he gets really good angles. So I was impressed by him. I know they played Newman, the other rookie, quite a lot. The guy from Michigan State. I think he had quite a solid game. But yeah, it was just sort of, I was really surprised that they didn't run the ball as much as, well, they didn't really run it all in the first sort of couple of drives. And then when they did, it did start opening the offensive up. But you can just tell straight away, excuse me, that Ben Johnson's a superior play designer compared to the last two offensive coordinators we've had. Because just due to the spacing, how he has the receivers spacing, the routes to run make no more sense. I can remember loads of times over the last couple of seasons watching ex-quarterbacks break down the Bears offense. And someone going, why have you got two guys so close together and why they're running routes where basically they're running into the same area and sometimes actually into each other. And you don't see that with Ben Johnson's offense. So it just be really, it's just exciting to think, well, this is like probably the most vanilla it could probably call. So you imagine what it's going to be like when it's all the number ones and it's a full-on playbook. That's going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm quite impressed with it. I think some of the receivers dropped quite a few passes. We had Jay Walker who caught a touchdown. Obviously, Alexander, you mentioned, got a touchdown. And then the guy D Hankins, who got that really nice laid up sort of pass from Keenum. I think people are sort of quite big on that kid. I think he's from Texas A&M, undrafted rookie. I think he like one of their main players, and he seemed like, and also you're wearing my old number 20, so I'm always a bit soft when anybody wears number 20. But I'm quite sort of pleased with him. I thought he had a good game. I mean, Loveland only caught one reception for 8 yards. I mean, obviously they're sort of pacing him, and obviously they don't want him to get nicked up just before the season, so that's understandable. But he can really move, man. He's really good at his routes and really crisp, and he can sort of see the qualities what the thought. So yeah, man, it would just. I always, like I said, I find it quite hard to sort of review preseason games because I suppose it's more about the individual players rather than the team, the team performance and the scoreboard. I mean, how it was sort of left the game, 24 all, if that had been a real game, he would have gone for the field goal or try to get further down for the field goal. Yeah. And, you wouldn't have gone for probably so many fourth down plays like we did do because, they're just working the system out and trying players and seeing how they react. So anything more you want to add to about the offensive performance, mate?
I think that's about it, really. Yeah, like you say, it's not really about the game. What's this? Here we go. Look. Shorty saying Chris is the self-professed laziest man alive, yet he is the only one on this channel that has sheets of notes for the show. Hey, I normally do, mate, but I've had a bit of a rough day. So I saw my phone, all right? I got a load of shit on there. I've got to try and pick apart. So
yeah, but the thing is, Dan, is there actually anything written on the bit of paper?
It's a shopping list. Yeah.
Just a prop.
Yeah.
Is it just a prop?
Milk,
So it's like
bread, toilet roll, that's... Yeah.
It is actually some sort of scribbling done down on there. But that's basically because I've got a memory of a fish. So if I don't write things down, I just don't remember names anymore. And that's just an age and probably smoking too much weed. But yeah, I think...
yes, I wanted to mention Ian Wheeler, on the offence as well.
Oh, go on. Yeah, of course. Good call, mate.
Come on, man. Yeah, exactly. He's on your notes, is he? He's not on your notes. But yeah, he is.
He
had that drop, didn't he? I was got it from him. He had that drop. He looked okay. The touchdown was called back. But again, I think in a room that's quite busy, especially when they tried out some others, didn't they? Including Jamal Williams, who obviously had the most rushing touchdowns a couple of years ago for the Lions. I don't know. Could be interesting. I don't know how he'll fit in. I don't know. There's a lot of
special teams
talent trying to get on the roster, isn't there? So I think, in terms of that, look at my notes again. Yeah, Durham Smythe missed a block for a sack, and I noticed that one. So he needs to get that sorted out. And that's what these practice games are preseason is about, isn't it? It's basically giving players a chance to get themselves on the 53, trying to earn a place. That's kind of it, isn't it? Bajan, a 15-yarder to Burden, wasn't it, in the second quarter for a first down. Duvernay was involved, a couple of receptions and then a couple of returns. Yeah, two 3-and-outs and the first two offensive drives. So it was like last season all over again. But like I say, we're not going to be playing anything spectacular. It's just literally going to be sort of vanilla football and just get out there and play. And to be fair, was it the Miami D line was their sort of starters to start with, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. And the same as well in their offense.
Yeah, so you kind of would expect that as you start swapping into your second and third stringers on the lines, it's the defense that's going to come out on top. So that's why I'm tempering my expectation, or my excitement about our D line. But there was some performances that we'll talk about in a minute. But that's generally my feeling, So I think that's it, really. Just and the Keenan was getting the ball out fast and noticed, I thought, and I think that's probably it for my little scrolly notes on my phone. A couple of things I noticed I can talk about after, actually, at the end, just general sort of football notes. I just talk at the end, but we'll mention those. False start on the Bears, God damn it. Yeah, another. Starting number 71. Yeah, that's right. That's what made me laugh about. What was I watching? Anyway, that's right. I was watching when I'm bored, I watched this last season of the last game of last regular season. So they're going and beat the Packers at Lambeau. And I just remember that they bring in what's his name? Big Dog, the really old guy, tight end from Green Bay, and then Everett.
I know you mean.
Yeah. The giant tight end from Green Bay that we took for and
who played for like 25 years.
Yeah, that's right. But I remember reading in the off season that him and Everett, if you combine their total contribution on the field, it was negative yards because of any catches they caught were way overtaken by the penalties they gave up, because he would come in, wouldn't he? Number 84, Mercedes Lewis. He would come in, give a false start, and then run off again. So it's like, and I just watched that the other day, and it reminded me of that. Mercedes Lewis, that's it. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, we got there in the end.
And Everett as well. What a waste of time he was.
I know. Yeah. Triple R in the house. Trips, how are you, my friend? Yes, so that was it. So offense was, it was decent. It was just, it's good to see football. Basically, I just enjoyed.
I mean, another thing quickly about the offense before I move on is, I just thought because obviously in training camp they've been going on about the amount of time it's taking them to get from the huddle to the line of scrimmage, lining up and delay games and stuff like that. That didn't seem too bad, really, to say the first preseason game. I thought it looked a lot smoother than I was expecting. But yeah, we'll move on to the defense, which really was a big highlight.
Yeah,
and obviously the main dog really was Booker. The guy had 3 sacks. He had 4 tackles with 2 assists as well. I mean, he was a man on fire. He really sort of. He had a really good off-season last year, but he just looks a bit bigger, looks stronger in his arms. he's just got a relentless, engine on him, and all his sacks were slightly different as well. If you know what I mean, there were different techniques had to use. So it was really impressive. But what are your thoughts about the D? Because my voice is going.
Yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it? I think there was some real sort of good, decent performances. Clearly, obviously, Noah Sewell stood out absolutely.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah,
goal line stop. He was a burst through the line. Hippolyte was like a missile early on, wasn't he? He was getting flying around the place. You could see this sort of game speed was really stood out, didn't it? I think I mentioned this before, unless we see that Major Burns has been cut, but I put Alex Cook and Major Burns some mistakes, like Cook multiple times. We gave up a lot of chunk plays and missed a few tackles, didn't we? I thought. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a bit of a disappointment, but let me see, where are we? I've got to go through D-line was strong first half. I put Terrell Smith again, really rate him. Although there was that clip on was it on Thursday's show last week where they showed him getting torched by one of the Chicago receiver in training camp, but but he, game time he would have had that pick six, wouldn't he? He got his hands on it. He jumped. Trapped the ball, cut it off, and he would have been away if he'd kept hold of it because he's lightning fast. I think he's like 4.3 40, isn't he? What else do we got? Blackwell, really good again. I know Carl's a big fan, but Josh Blackwell showed up. He made some good performances. Trey Flowers, he made some plays, but also allowed a few catches. I think he got beaten coverage a couple of times, and it's exactly right, Carl. That's it. That's why they're backups. And what you want to see is some consistency. Play the clip. What clip? What clip's he talking about?
No idea.
Smitty and Blackwell, what was he saying? Got burnt, put on skates, but also grew into the game and looked good in spurts. Yeah, exactly. So it's true. Miami penalties. Yeah, Power Records, man. Oh, the fumble recovery, and he did the goal line stop, didn't he? As well, Power Records linebacker. He had a good game as well. Made some plays. Carl Jones appeared as well. It's, again, that's what you want to see is these players that are on the fringes making plays because they're trying to get place on the roster, aren't they? So he's here. Welcome. Yes, Smitty had a pass breakup. Yeah,
hi, Mike. Yeah. I mean, I think as well, like Pickens as well. He seemed to be in for most of the game of defense as well, and he had quite a good game. He ended up getting a sack. He had one tackle with 2 assists.
Yeah.
Sewell, like you mentioned. I mean, that sort of first quarter goal line stance, wasn't it? What were really, really good. Yeah, and until he got Coach Johnson really pumped up as well.
Oh, yeah.
And and also I think as well that you can see the difference between the schemes, what Dennis Allen runs compared to Eberfluss. He's a lot more sort of blitzing, man to man, very more aggressive than what Eberfluss used to call it. Used to have that sort of soft coverage and that sort of thing.
Oh, it used to annoy me, yeah.
Yeah, so I was really impressed with how the defense was called, really.
Yeah. I think one other thing was what I loved was, which is the Dennis Allen effect, was at the end with that. There was 4th and 15, wasn't it, for Miami? They were going to go for it because it was seconds to go. And he just sent the house, didn't he? I fucking love this. This is Chicago football, just blitz, all out attack. And I think that's what I loved. Where did I say that? I think I put it. I can't remember if I put it in the comment on the. I can't remember where I said it, but that's what I loved about the difference in this one. There was no soft zone. There was no. We'll just sit back and see if we can stop you getting to the marker. Yeah. We're going to just go after you. And I think that's right. It was in the show because Booker said it. He called it out brilliantly. King Booker said it was no more. What did he say? It was seek and destroy, basically, is what he said. Yeah. I think it was on. It was in Sports Zone Chicago. I think it was in Sean's show. But yeah, it was seek and destroy rather than sort of wait back and see. And I love that. I was leaping around for that. Just 4th and 15, we're coming after you. We're not going to let you get that pass away because we're just going to overwhelm you and get that ball back. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. And
that seems a lot more like natural Chicago Bears defense, what we all love, if you know what I mean. And it's just so much better and just sort of they got a lot of pressure on the Miami Dolphins QBs and I think Booker, man. Obviously I think he's going to be on the roster, but I think he's. I'm not saying he's going to be like going to be on the. He's going to be on the field a lot more than last year, but he's definitely going to be high up in the rotation. I think if he keeps playing like he is, and I just didn't realise how young he was until I watched him. He's like 22.
That's why some people said they think we come out too early. They said
he came out of college like a year early or something. He's still growing into his frame, really. And I think Robinson as well, Dominic Robinson, he looked a lot bigger, like a lot stronger in his arms, and he got sacked as well. And, but he's a player what seems to be great in the off-season and then disappears in the regular season.
Foster's in the house. But yeah, I wanted to mention that, but the Don Rob sack, because it was I noticed Booker on that play because he got his hand into the left tackle's chest and he was driving him back into the quarterback until the guard came across and helped him out and pushed him behind the quarterback, which made him step up and straight into the arms of Don Rob. So yeah, it was a good play all round because you need to, again, it's down to all four, isn't it? Generating pressure.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I loved it. I loved a bit of Chicago aggressive defense. Carl Jones made a couple of plays, but he also missed an important tackle on third down in the fourth quarter, I noticed. So again, excuse me. What's Trips saying? No more plain ass vanilla defense. It's rainbow cone defense season. Yeah, exactly. You're going after him. Seek and destroy, as Booker called it. So it's just about players making plays and to see as much as they can and consistently, because we know they're the backup. So what you want is you want to get the best backups in there. So I'm hoping that we'll talk about it in a bit, but I'm hoping we'll see more of the first team on Sunday or Monday morning over here, whatever it is. So yeah, I think that's kind of it, really. Just good. The defense looked okay. Special teams was disappointing in terms of giving up the kickoffs. Man, they gave up so many yards on the kickoffs, didn't they?
Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, that wasn't great. So that's something to work on for sure.
And there's one thing I've just remembered, and this is like taking us back to the offense, and it really bothered me, so I need to say it. Was the running back pass protection was absolutely fucking terrible. None of them were getting a decent base. They were getting knocked over by any defender what came through, and that needs sorting out because it was noticeable. And they weren't just one of the running backs. It was throughout the running backs what played. The technique was shit, and they were just getting knocked all over the place. And I think like one of Tyson Bagent's when he got sacked was due to a fluff from one of the running backs on his block. So I know that stepped us a little bit out of line, but it just came into my head and it really annoyed me at the time. So I had to say it. But I was really sort of pissed about special teams, man. I thought the kickoff coverage was fucking terrible. Obviously, Santos got his 57-yarder and apparently he's been working on his technique and getting a little bit stronger, so hopefully he's going to have a bit of a better leg and get a bit of a high trajectory thing and have that chance of getting blocked like he did a couple of times last season. But yeah, the kickoff coverage were lousy, absolutely lousy. And that surprised me really because, Hightower's done really, I mean, he's managed to survive like 3 different coaches as well, so I'm really surprised, how sort of soft they were, really. I mean, maybe it might have been I'm going to say the new kickoff rules, but they've been playing. I know there's been slight changes, but it's predominantly the same to what they were playing, last year. So I just thought
sorry, mate. To say about that, the change is that now if the kicker puts it in the end zone, then it comes out to the 35-yard line. Whereas it was the 30 last year.
Right, and is that the main change then?
That's the big change this year, yeah.
Right,
they want them to put it in the end zone. In the landing zone, I beg your pardon, between the goal line and the 20. So, and if it goes into the end zone, it's now an extra 5 yards sort of for the
right
take over. And the reason they're doing this is because apparently, I can't remember the numbers. I didn't make a note of the numbers, but concussions were down last year quite a lot, apparently, in the NFL. And they're attributing a lot of that to these new kickoff rules because you're not getting players just flat out, straight at each other.
But I do remember last year, after probably a quarter of the way through the season, teams were just booting it back into the end zone again. You know what I mean? And they probably thought, well, it's an extra 10 yards, sod it. But now if they've added another 5 yards, then it does make it we need to return. It's going to make more kicks returnable. Because I just thought, what's the fucking point? But I thought the coaching staff were really good overall. On Sunday, I thought the communication with the coach is really good. Even the number ones who weren't playing, everybody seemed to be really energized and to see it be supporting, the fellow players. And, it feels like they're slowly building that culture what Ben Johnson wants, I think. And I think, like you said, I feel, and he goes, look, I don't know what I'm going to be like, because it was my first time being a head coach. And, I think he's going to feel a lot more sort of at ease, obviously, the more he does it. And it's just so exciting to think about what could be with that offense when we get the number ones in, when we get the full playbook open. It's going to be so interesting. But yeah, anything more you want to touch on regarding the game?
Yeah, I want to mention Squeege's comment here, actually, which is a good one, I think. And it's exactly what I put. I wrote about chunk plays. We gave out far too many, like with missed tackles and just not getting the players down. Is the Finns moved the ball way too easy for my liking. He says we had good plays here and there, but we couldn't seem to get a stop or a turnover when it counted. So I kind of agree. Yeah, it was. I think they were using more of their first team than we were, but that's not an excuse, really. I think there was too many sort of missed tackles that gave up big plays. So there's something to work on. It's preseason, but you can watch it with interest and see who's performing and who isn't, and the coaches will be all over it, won't they? They'll be
definitely
going through every millimeter of film, won't they? So
I mean,
I enjoyed it. I just loved having Bears football back, man. It just doesn't matter who's in throwing the rock.
Yeah, I mean, this probably doesn't apply. This definitely doesn't apply to our American friends who watched it, but anybody from Britain who watched it on DAZN. Is that how you pronounce it?
They call it the zone, don't they? It's DAZN.
All I can say is bing bong. Excuse me.
Oh, that fucking advert, man. Yeah. Well, I muted it, but I finally remember what you
I do it.
The thing that annoyed me about the coverage was because the clock ticked to 0 before they went, at half time. Burden went out of bounds. They didn't even wait. They're so desperate to get their adverts out to us. Oh. My brain full of their shit. Is that I missed the fucking field goal because they were straight to the ads. And then they sort of flicked back, and it was the half time, and they went 14-10. I thought, what the hell? And I had to go on my phone and get some coverage. And he's kicked a 57-yarder, brilliant, So I was like, I missed it because they just couldn't wait to get the fucking adverts. It's just really.
I mean, I must admit the whole. I mean, this has always sort of pissed me off regarding the NFL and watching games live. It's the adverts. Especially like when maybe it's like we're from a different culture, whatever. But I mean, I can when I went to Soldiers Field, and obviously it happened when I saw preseason games back in the 80s and whatever. But I can remember at Soldiers Field, and like the players would have stood down the field for like at least 3 minutes.
Ad break. And you can see the clock counting down on the stand. Yeah.
And it, especially like when it's a good game, it really does slow down the flow of the game and the intensity of the game. And I'd hear that as a player, because especially like if it's cold, you want to keep warm, and if you sort of on a really good drive and and you sort of punishing it, you want to keep that sort of pressure on them. But I mean, I can't imagine NFL will change regarding that. The amount of money the NFL makes via advertising it's a fortune.
The other thing that I find most annoying as well is when it's a night game, when it's prime time. Over here, obviously, it's 1 a.m. or whatever it is, 1:15. And obviously, because it's the late game, they don't have the pundits in the studio, do they? And have you ever watched it on Sky Sports?
Yeah.
So you don't get any punditry. So that when they have a break, when the Americans have an ad break, they don't go to the studio and Jason will talk about it. They'll start having the chats. You just get, and it's the same damn like 3 adverts over and over, and I'm just like, I'm gonna smash my telly. But first world problems, it's just football.
That's it. But apparently, for any fans from Britain, apparently I've heard that Channel 5 are going to have live games on a Sunday.
Oh, really?
Sunday evening, yeah. On I think it's 5 Action or something. So if you haven't got Sky or you don't want to subscribe to NFL Game Pass, then obviously you're not going to see all the Bears games, but at least it's going to be some sort of NFL out there, free view for people, and that's only going to be good for the sport as well over here. It's gonna allow a lot more people to watch it. I'm sure I've read that a few times, which is cool because I know they had the Monday night game, and it does make a big difference when there's no. I like it when there's pundits because, like you say, even when it's an ad break, you get a term and you get people's opinions or whatever. It just flows a bit better, but like you say, it is a first world problem, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, there's nothing more I can really think about regarding that game. We haven't lost, so we can still have a perfect season, Jason, you big homer.
Well, yeah, exactly. You big homer. Yeah. I know. Well, the thing is, it's meaningless, isn't it? Because was it last season we won all 4? Yeah, it was last season because we had the Hall of Fame game. We won all 4, didn't we? We won all 4 preseason
That's right.
games. Look how the season ended up. But yeah, I'm just going to find I'm getting something ready for I have got a
stat bomb.
I have got a stat bomb this week.
Oh, wow.
It's not, it's not one of my favorite. It's not the best one I've ever done, but I think it's interesting. So,
and due to circumstances, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I got into a discussion with someone on Reddit about this kind of stuff. We were just talking about do you want to do this now? Should we do it now?
Let's do the stat bomb. Yeah, we're halfway through this year.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of fits in now. Where are we? So
fire away, mate.
I will. There's a few little things I was going to bring to you this week, because obviously we're not in the midst of the season when I can, there's NFL regular season stats building up that I can start pouring my way through because I'm a geek. But there was some discussion on Reddit about Ben Johnson's starting record because people are saying, "Oh, it's a new offense; it's really complex. Everyone just hold your expectations back," And someone was saying, "Well, no, because he flew out the blocks as the OC at Detroit." So, and then someone pointed out that actually when he took over as the offensive coordinator, their first 7 games, they went 1-6. And you think,
right.
But, wins and losses, we say, are not a quarterback stat. They're not a coach stat either, really, because he was the offensive coordinator. So there's 2 sides of the ball to talk about here. So in those first 7 games, the Detroit offense, this is when he first took over as offensive coordinator in 2022. Their first 7 games, they scored 35, 36, 24, 45, 0, 6, and 7 points. So they were shot out and then had 6 points for like weeks 6 and 7. So obviously that's totally on him. And interestingly enough, the shutout was against the Patriots and Belichick was still in charge then. And that he was a master at finding your weaknesses and exploiting it and just shutting you down and stopping your work. And he did a number on him. Another interesting fact about that game where with Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator getting shut out, they went for it on 4th down, as Detroit always did recently, 6 times and failed on every single one, which is an NFL record in a game. And the previous record was 5, which was held by the Patriots, who they played in that game. So
is that in a single game?
Yes. Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
6 times they went for it on 4th down and failed on every single one. And that was a record for an NFL game, which I thought was interesting because I'm that way inclined. But I thought let's have a little look at then. Let's have a look at Ben Johnson, his record, because we knew that offense was good, right? But I kind of didn't appreciate just how good it was. It was historic. It was unbelievable. So they had the 2024 last season. They put themselves in the history books when they beat the 49ers by having 5 games with 40 points or more and no turnovers in a single season. So they did that. They had where are they? It was 550. Where's that's another window? Sorry, again, I haven't had the prep time this this week. All right, so I apologise to everyone for not being as slick on my stat bomb. But basically, I didn't sleep very well last night. I've had a bit of stuff going on. I spent like 5-6 hours in the hospital today doing some checks. Everything's fine, but it was just something that I had, because of my medical history, something appeared. I had to get it checked out. So I'm absolutely knackered because I didn't sleep and I've been in the hospital all day. So, but
that was proves, Jason, how much of a hardcore motherfucker you are.
I'm still here with the stats.
That you're here doing this.
Well, I don't want to let you down, mate. But yeah, thanks to Foster, who was about to step in at the short notice. But yeah, they were 554 points, I think it was, is the 4th highest ever in a total for a season. And it was the highest number there. 564 points scored. And their plus 222 point differential were the most in the NFL in 2024. And that points tally was the 4th most ever in a season by an NFL team.
Wow.
They also broke another NFL record by it's the first time 4 players had 1,000 scrimmage yards each in a season to get on the same team together. So that was obviously Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson Williams all had 1,000 scrimmage yards, over 1,000 yards. First time ever 4 players did it on the same team. But also, because we know how the season ended, it was only the second time that a team with 15 wins didn't win their playoff game. The second time, and the first team to do it was the 2011 Green Bay Packers. Fuck the Packers. So they only the second time a team has won 15 games and then not won in the playoffs. So yeah. I was going to bring you more, but I think I'm done with that. You don't want to sit me scrolling through my phone. But yeah, that's this week's kind of abridged stat bomb.
That was, regardless, Jason, that was a quality stat bomb.
Thanks, man.
Because I didn't know any of that. I knew that they've been scoring a lot of points in the last couple of years. The Lions have, but I didn't realise it was that prolific and that sort of historical, really. So very
good
thing
as well. This is something I wanted to notice. There's a couple of things I mentioned was the Bears. Like this is again, we talk about the defense. Is that 16 times the Bears have made the playoffs. Of 14 of those 16, the Bears have had a top 10 defense. So
I could believe that,
yeah. So that's how we do it. But then again, we're the franchise that has never had a 4,000-yard passer, so we kind of rely on our defense. So that could be the other side of that. So I'm getting lots of good advice in the chat from Carlos saying he knows a white powder that might help, endorsed by Lawrence Taylor.
I'd stay off that, mate.
I'd stay away from that. Yeah. Sweetie's saying, is medical or recreational cannabis legal in the UK? The answer is no, not at all.
Tis in my flat.
Yeah. We all know the story there, mate. Yeah. Dean Booker is saying, I used to have a little love for the Lions, but since they've had 2 good seasons, they've lost their minds. So fuck them now.
Yeah, especially the fans, completely delusional now. They get a little bit of taste of success and then they start acting like the fucking Patriot fans. It's ridiculous. But anything else in the chat?
I'm just responding to the chat. Yeah, some good stuff in here. Now, thanks again, everyone, for joining us and joining in. Carl is saying Cam Little's 70-yard field goal is not an NFL record, but a world record. Well, yeah, because no one else plays NFL, do they? Come on.
It's like why this? And I even brought this up when I were in America in 2023. I said, I was chatting to Dan and Matt, probably with his family or whatever, and I had to bring up going, why do you call yourselves world champions when they win the Super Bowl? When it's clearly not a World Cup. And Dan goes, yeah, I hate that they do that. And most of the people agreed. And I just find it not very annoying. It's another first world problem, but it's so sort of like.
It's a little yeah. Another good comment from King Bookerworld is he says, I love the quote from Lions fans acting like now Coach Johnson didn't do anything there. I know, it's hilarious. When I went to Chicago in December with the Lions game, I got some grief from there was obviously the place was overrun with Lions fans, wasn't it? I don't know if you saw it on the TV. Yeah. They were all around us, but I did chat to a few of them, in front and to the side, and they were talking about. They were said, "Oh yeah, Caleb, it looks pretty good." And I said to them, "Yeah, imagine what it would be like with Johnson calling the plays." And they kind of looked at me. And one of my favorite things of the off season is I shared it with you, didn't I? I think I sent it to you and Shorty. Was there's a Detroit Lions British fans podcast, isn't there? And they were live on air when the news broke that Johnson was joining the Bears. And then one of the 3 guys was just literally just screaming, fuck off for 30 seconds on the show. And it just amazes me. But yeah, like you said, they raved about, having lost both coordinators. They're now saying, oh, well, they didn't do much. It was all Dan Campbell. That's bullshit, man. Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson made that offense and defense what they were. The head coach sets the tone, but if you're not calling the plays, then he's not calling the plays. So he's, it's going to be interesting to see how they get on. Their offensive coordinator is an internal solution, isn't he? So, Jason, please find that for me. What's he saying? What do you want me to find, Carl? Say it again. Sorry, mate. The clip. I'll find it. I'll try and find it. It's hilarious. The 3 British guys.
We'll have to when it comes to the seat, we'll have to try and get hold of them through the season. We play the Lions and do a joint. Because I'd love to know. Why would you become a Detroit Lion fan? From the UK. Why would you? Because that one of the things it's 1958. We've got the excuse of being of that age where it's the 85 Bears. That's we got into them. They were great for 10 years. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And that were quite interesting. As long as they're not like Don Burr, then I'll be quite happy to have a chat with them. They're quite interesting.
Yeah, according to Booker's saying, according to Lions fans, now the new OC is the real person who designed the offense. I know. We'll see. Oh yeah, that was right. The another little stat about the Lions last year is they were the only team in the NFL to sweep their division. No one else did it.
All right, so we didn't lose any games then to anybody in the division.
They beat all their division rivals. Yeah, the only team to sweep their division last year. Yeah, honestly, they were absolutely well. They were record-breakingly good, and we knew they were good because they were scoring so many points. But they were smashing records all over the place. Loads of season in charge was their highest average points per game.
But we nearly beat them twice last year. If it had been down to his ineptitude.
Yeah, I know. Don't. Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't like the massively outclassed us at all. But yes, I mean, I suppose we'll slowly wrap the show up a bit. I mean, obviously this week they've got the joint practice with the Buffalo Bills on Friday and they're playing them on Sunday. I think that's going to be a massive rank up in standard of play what they'll be facing. You know, the Buffalo Bills are a odds-on Super Bowl contending team, so it'd be really interesting to see the reports what come out regarding from the joint practice.
Yeah,
and see how if the D still as strong against like a lot better skilled players and a lot better QB. And I think really, I mean, do you think they might actually play some of the stars in offense?
I think they will. I think I'm certainly hope they will. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I do.
2 of your 3 preseason games you're going to not put your starters in. They need to get some game reps. I know that, like I said, the practices are important now. They're probably more useful in terms of development and getting up to game speed and trying stuff out. But I think you've got to still play them in the game, haven't you, at some point? So we may see a couple of series.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like being in that game environment as well, if you know what I mean. So I think definitely Caleb needs that. Just, you know, being in the middle of a crowd.
Sorry, mate. The cat's just come in. I just shut the door behind him. You may have noticed I'm doing it from the living room here today. I'm going to change the scenery.
I'm going to say, how many rooms do you got in your house?
Oh, 2, at least 2. But no, it's because I spent all bloody afternoon at the hospital. Kim has got to do some prep for tomorrow for work, so she's in the office. You know,
right.
The room I broadcast from is the second bedroom where it's her office and stuff. So she's up there beavering away, getting ready for work tomorrow. So I've had to be relegated down here to the sofa. So yeah, because of that, the cat was out, so he's just come in, and I've just had to shut the door behind him. You know, it's rock and roll here on the British Bears Show. Yes.
Hey, we just bring it. It's real life, man. It's just real life.
But yeah,
so I mean, sorry, go on, mate.
So yeah, the Bills. So it will be again a good test. I like they're playing decent opposition. I think that's what they should do. You want to be tested in preseason, and also I noticed that I think they drafted 2 D linemen, the Bills, to go with what they already had. And they signed Joey Bosa, didn't they, as well? So
they did do, yes.
Yeah, and a couple of the 2 rookies were getting some pressures, and one of them almost had a sack on Jackson Dart on the weekend. Almost, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, kind of whatever. But they high praise on ESPN Rage Bait website. So I'm just reading Booker's comment again. If Caleb takes off and the media wants to interview him, he should tell them to kick rocks. Yeah, exactly. I think he's better than that, though. He's a better man than me and you, Booker. Or at least me anyway.
He just petty us a lot.
There we go. Carl's saying it. It's one of those. I think it was the 4th. That's right. The 4th rounder they talked about from Kentucky. That's who that pick we gave them to get back in to get Austin Booker. Was that they used that on this huge D lineman from Kentucky.
Right.
So, yeah, good to know. Interesting. But, yeah, so, yeah, it'd be a good test. I like it. Let's see what they got. And the joint practice will be interesting to see. And then, again, just more. But I'm loving just having Bears football back, mate, like I said.
Yeah, I am. I think it's on at the same time as it was last week. So, at least it's not going to be a late night. I think it's on at 6.
No, I think it's an 8 p.m. Eastern, I think, this one. I think it's a night game for us. Let me check. Bear with you. Live news flash.
Nice news flash. Get your schedules ready.
Live on the British Bear Show.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through my bloody phone. I'll drink in my Ribena.
Ribena.
I know. Yeah. It's 1 a.m. UK time.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to watch that live, and I'm just going to watch it morning.
In the morning. Just get it live replay in the morning with your cornflakes.
Yeah, I'll have that in the morning, and I can also watch it ad-free as well. So I I'd have to listen to see the same 3 adverts over and over again, which basically drove me a little bit mad and crazy on the Sunday night.
I know. I kept muting it. Yeah, Shorty's saying, "What the hell are you drinking?" It's that squash, that blackcurrant squash that I brought a bottle of. I took a bottle of Ribena to them in Christmas. But that's what it is. Yeah, blackcurrant squash. It's like, do they have cordial in America? Do they have?
I was going to ask you that. Do they have like diluted drinks?
It's like a concentrated fruit juice that you put into that much in your glass and then fill it up with water to make like a soft drink. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that's it. Is it with vodka? No, Foster. I'm not feeling up to that. Yeah, but 1 a.m. We're saying we won't watch it. Regular season, I'll stay up and watch a night game. But preseason, I think I might give that one a miss. Although I say that, I probably, I end up just slipping into, I'll watch 5 minutes and then I end up watching the whole fucking game. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Same here, really. Just see how it all goes and see how I feel on Sunday. But I think I'll probably watch it Monday morning, and just because it's a pre-season game, so the score isn't really that important. It's just about the performances. So I'd rather sit there with my tea and crumpets in the morning and watch about fucking adverts and enjoy it. Yeah. But yes, I think really we're just looking for progress with the offense, really. Yeah. Be great to see the number ones, just to see Caleb out there, and hopefully the offense will be running a lot more plays. So it's going to be a good test against the Bills, and be the return of Mitch Trubisky as well, won't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So cool. Anything more you want to bring up on the show, Jess?
Right now, no. I think, mate. I think we're both. You're full of cold. I'm just tired from last night and all the rest of today. So I think we should probably spare everyone any more of our drivel and get the fuck out of here, and then just look forward to Sunday, and we'll talk about it again next week. Top stuff.
So I just want to say thank you for everybody joining us. I know we're a little bit of a shorter show, but we're both under the weather. Prediction.
Shorties. I'll send him mine. You send him yours. We'll both. Can you?
All right. So he wants the season prediction
from last season. Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, but I just want to say it's a bit of a shorter show because we're both under the weather. And I always find it quite hard to review pre-season games because it's so disjointed with players. But I just want to thank everybody in the chat. Everybody who's watching us live and people who watch on demand. I just want to say thanks to Shorty and all our fellow hosts on BCP. You're all awesome. And you can catch me again on Sunday on the Barfly Tailgate Show on the Byram Network. That'll be on at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon over here. So we'll be previewing the Buffalo game and discussing, the previous game of the Miami Dolphins. But I just want to say thank you a lot for everybody's continuous support. And I say we will be back healthy next week, full guns a-blazing, because, like I say, my voice is just going, and Jason's had his difficulties, and I'm just so glad that you made it onto the show, Jason. So let's call it quits, man, and we'll leave on a big bear down. Bear down.
Bear down. Where's that button? There it is. End the damn thing.